What's up, Model Geeks? Hey, it's Brian, and thanks for tuning in again to BG Model Workshop, where we are doing the official final on our official pace car, the 2010 Camaro that was used in the 2009 Indy 500. And apparently, according to the box art, this was the 100th anniversary of the actual race itself, so that's kind of a cool deal. I did not realize it was a special edition on top of a special edition type of thing. So, hooray all around. This is the box flap of the kit that we actually built. And it's not bad. It says it's Showroom Replicas, so that of course means that it's going to be light on detail, no engine, that kind of stuff. Which was fine. We didn't want to get too crazy into this build because we were building for a club event. And even though we wanted to participate in the club event, we still wanted to do something that wasn't going to be too mind-boggling. And that definitely was this kit here. A couple of things I would actually caution you guys on if you want to build this particular kit is that the decals, although that they lift off the paper very well, they do have a little bit of a problem once they get down onto the car. You do have to use a lot of the micro sol, the red stuff. The red label, I should say, and it does take a little while for them to actually give up and conform, but in the meantime, they do get a little on the brittle side, and you can't shift them around, or they're going to tear, or give you a they're going to. I guess the best way to say it is chunks of them will come off. It's the best way. It'll chunk out. So what I did find kind of cool about the decals themselves were this little decal up here on the fender. That's just a smaller version of the actual pace car logo over here on the door. They gave you 4 of those, even though you only needed 2. So I added one to the window up here in the front, and then I put one on the back of the car because why not, right? The light bar on top, that's actually 2 transparent pieces, and like most snap together kits we have nowadays, you do have to go back and chase a lot of the holes to make sure that the parts are going to fit on there correctly, and that's exactly what I had to do for the roof here. The holes are actually molded closed, but there's dimples on the inside of the roof to let you know where to drill, and they were perfectly aligned, so that was nice. But there's a little standoff pegs that this actually sits on top of, and those we had to drill out a little bit larger so everything fit together because the transparent pieces on this one are very, very brittle. I did break off a pin on the top piece here, but we got together in the end, no worries. Something that I was actually very pleased about with the decals is with the proper amount of solution, microsol solution, we did get the decal. This is one long piece here to conform over the spoiler, back down around again, and we just had to trim it along the bottom because it was just a touch long. The kit does have decals for the badges. I didn't use those because they did look a little too toyish, so I just went ahead and hit those with some gold Sharpie, and I think they look just fine. And we also have a choice of license plates too, like one that just says Camaro, one that says pace car, and then this one here, which I believe is the official pace car plate for that car. Don't quote me on that. I didn't see any instructions about that, whether or not that was correct, but it is what it is. Let's see. So we talked about the decals and all that kind of jazz. The interior actually has some pretty good detail, and I'm sorry, because of the gun slits that we have for windows here, we aren't actually able to get inside there to see. But the detail is nice enough to the point where I felt inspired to actually flock the floors to make it look like carpeting, and it came out really, really well. I used PVA glue and Frank's fuzzy fur. I'm not sure where Frank actually gets his fuzzy fur from, but it worked and it did a great job. I've been a fan of that product for a while, and every time I see it when I'm at a show or whatever, I pick up a couple of jars of that stuff. I know you can buy it online, but I like to be able to actually see it and look at it and be able to think, yep, that's the color I need. And speaking of colors, we talked before in our last video about this front valance right here, where we sprayed that with TS49, and that came out perfectly and matched the decals just great. We took this guy to our model club meeting last night, and I think everybody liked it because, well, we got one of these. There we go. Cactus Car Modelers March 2020 monthly theme, Indy Pace Cars. Winner! So I'm happy for that. I did not know. My friend Raul showed up, and he brought some pace cars that were absolutely stunning. But in the end, this one won. And then everybody lifted their engine lids off. Or my friend Laura, she lifted off the engine lid for the car that she had brought. And we were checking out the engines. And so Raul pulled the lids off, the hoods off of his cars to show off their engines. And I pulled off the bonnet here to show off what wasn't there. And one of my club mates, when he realized it was a snap together kit, he goes, "I want to change my vote." But it's cool. It's all good. It was a lot of fun for us, and we actually got to go to a friend of one of our club members. Went to Maroney's place where we got to check out his dragster, his shop setup, his trailer. Oh man, we were climbing all over that stuff, snapping pictures of everything. It was a really great time. And I know he's not subscribed to us, but I still want to put it out there. Thank you very much for hosting our meeting last night. It was a lot of fun for us, and we hope to see him in April, because he does have a couple of model cars of his own that he's talking about bringing to the show. Maybe even his dragster in April for our Cactus Car Modelers Desert Scale Classic that's going to be happening on the 18th of April. So that's going to be really cool. We know he's not going to be able to run it because there are a lot of old people in the area that have access to telephones so they can call and complain about things. But, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, back to what we're looking at here. If you're a lower skill level modeler, like if you're just getting into it and everything, this would be an actually really good kit to work on. It does have its challenges. One thing that I found kind of disappointing about this particular kit, and I don't know if this is true for all of these kits, but I talked about this in the last video, and that was the fact that the wheels on the inside where the steel rods are supposed to go for the axles, there was a lot of junk inside there that you do have to drill out, clean out, so that the axles fit in there properly and the wheels go all the way onto the car rather than just sticking out like a Barney Rubble's car. But all in all, I don't think it's a bad kit. Just watch out for that excess chrome and lacquer that's stuck inside the axle holes. As they say that very delicately, and yeah, it paints up really easily. I did have a little trouble with some weirdness on the rear deck lid back in here. There was something going on with the plastic where the more I sanded it, the worse I got, until I finally got through whatever was sitting on that particular part of the plastic, got through that, and then was able to lay down paint properly and put a top coat on. I didn't gloss coat this. I just left it as is out of the rattle can. I thought that was a good enough sheen. But after we did lay the decals down, I do want to point this out, that we did go back and retrace over these over the panel lines back here up in front, and swabbed them with more microsol, and we even got out the Mark Fit Strong. And when we got out the Mark Fit Strong, that's usually when we're like, we're not messing around anymore. And that's when this thing finally acquiesced and laid down like a good little puppy. So there we go, folks. That's it. It's an award winner. It's going to go in the top shelf of the cabinet, because at the end of the year, or end of our build season, I should say, which is in August, we get together and all the cars that had won awards during the previous months compete for the big prize. So we'll keep this one accessible so we can get back to it again at the end of our build season in August. All right, guys and gals, have a great rest of your day, and the weekend is on the horizon, so I hope you all get to get some bench time, some family time, and take it easy and stay safe. Bye now.